Hello, Taurus. Welcome into your reading. So glad to have you here. I just want to let everybody know that my readings are solely for self-growth purposes. So these are readings to make you become conscious and aware of the options that you have for any sort of situation, or maybe even some advice that you could take for your situations as well. Just know that you know your situation the best. So just take what resonates and leave the rest. And yeah, don't lose your power to tarot readings, because you have free will at the end of the day. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into your reading. We have the Golden Wheel Tarot coming out, and we also have the Energy Oracle that we'll be using in this reading. Let's go ahead and figure out what Taurus needs to be made aware of. What I'm feeling right now is I feel like there's like a strong foundation that is starting to be built for you. Something that is being built right now for Taurus is having a strong foundation, but let's go ahead and figure out what we're dealing with at hand. We're not going to take a big clump of cards. We want them to come out in a nice manner. All right, we have the Ace of Wands. We have Temperance. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups. And the Eight of Wheels. Queen of Wands. No, Swords. Ten of Swords. And the Knight of Wands. Okay, so we got two different knights here. We got a very lovey-dovey water energy knight. And then we also have a fast-moving, passionate, fiery knight that came out. But what looks like to me is that for some reason you have been given a lot to work with. You've been given a lot to fill out. You've been given a lot to take on. Maybe there's been like a lot of options here for you, Taurus, that you've been working with, working on. And maybe there's something that you have worked on in the past recently that I think is something that you realized wasn't you, something that you weren't really comfortable with, something that you weren't really wanting to continue to hang on to, but you kept hanging on to it. And it almost feels like there's been an energy or a shift of things that have been kind of taken out of you, things that have been slowly processed away from you. And these choices, these options, these things that you've been working with before hasn't necessarily stayed around. They're not available to you anymore. And I feel like there's like one cup that is left. You've had 7 cups and now there's just like one cup that is left. Something that you feel resonates with you, something that you feel allows you to be comfortable, something that you feel allows you to put your heart into it. It's not just the effort and the hard work that is being put into this thing that you have. It's also the energy coming from your heart space. So I feel like that's going to create a lot of great energy for you. And I feel like that's going to create a really strong foundation for you that maybe with all these experimental things that you've had going on, you've really been able to lock in something that you can start to build towards and have like a really long lasting element with that thing. And I'm honestly wanting to say that this could be a business idea. This could also be something that you're doing for work. Maybe this is a newfound career for you, things like that. But it could resonate with a lot of things right now. But I really do see that this is something that has been taken away from you, all these other extra things. And now you're able to kind of focus in on one thing that makes you feel like you're passionate about it. You're not just doing the work because it's work. You're also doing it because you love to do it passionate about it, and you can do bigger and better things with this type of work for yourself. So whatever has caused things recently to shift and to be removed from you, I feel like it has some sort of divine energy within inside of it. And with the Ace of Wands, I feel like this is going to give you a lot of power to start kind of putting your own stamp on it. So you've got the idea, you've got the process, you've got the thing that's going to be working for you, but now it's time for you to kind of put your own stamp on it, put your own twist on it, make it yours, claim it, and start like using it. Start using it for your own power. Even though like maybe there's been a past here of you taking a long road to get to this point, and there was a lot of things that you had to process through and filter through. I feel like this is going to be really worth it for you, that you're going to come out with this hot, heady, ready energy, because I feel like things are going to start clicking. Things are going to start working. It's almost like you're going to forget about this past energy, and you're not going to have to worry about it much longer because it's the past. It's not something that you have to really worry about. Let me go ahead and pull some oracle cards on top of here. What does Taurus need to know? What does Taurus need to know from the oracles? We have storm warning. Okay. Contract. And Angel of Balance. Okay. So I feel like there's an energy here with both contract and Angel of Balance, you know, having that balance act in there. I feel like that's kind of what it's asking you to do, is to, even though you feel really called and pulled towards this new thing and trying out this new thing, and you seeing that this new thing is very successful, you're not going to be able to just plunge right in and expect like to continue go all the time. There's got to be a nice balance. There's got to be a nice balance of you working hard and you going, and then you taking some time back and relaxing and enjoying yourself and making sure you're not putting a lot of pressure, because it almost seems like you can overdo it. It almost seems like you can create a big disaster if you don't allow yourself to handle the things that you also have that are necessities or that you have obligations to. You've got to take care of yourself as well. You've got to make sure that you don't go full blazing and still have time to do other things as well. You still got to, you know, maybe even create other ideas, or maybe there's some other places in your life that needs your attention as well, and not be so neglectful to those things, because the more you put into it and overdo it, the more of the disaster it can happen to you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be disastrous in that particular circumstance with the career new venture that you're going on. It could also be a disaster in other elements of your life. So it could have a multitude of different meanings here for you, but I feel like if you're not careful, you could pretty much guarantee that you can have this storm come up and try to teach you the lesson of having this balance. And I'm kind of interested about getting some extra clarification on this contract card, because I'm not exactly sure what that's implying with the rest of your story, other than the imagery of the balance. So we can get some extra clarification on that really quick before we get some advice for your situation. But yeah, just make sure that you're continuously having balance throughout the whole thing, and making sure that you are not getting too overly excited about whatever it is that you're working on and get carried away with that energy. So what is this contract card about for Taurus? We'll get some extra clarification. Okay. So we've got the Sun card coming out. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. And we've got the Two of Wands. So the Ace of Pentacles definitely is that foundation card like we've been talking about. But I feel like this has the ability for you to like create the foundation with what it is that you have, and that there's going to be a lot of different possibilities for you to kind of like branch out into, or maybe you're going to be pursuing something soon with that could give you some new energy, that could bring a lot of new energy into your life. It could start giving you some like aha clarification moments. It could potentially start getting you more outside of your comfort zone. It could potentially make you meet other people that you are contracted to meet and affect the lives of, or maybe they're supposed to affect your life, things like that. And there's potential of travel as well. You might be contracted to be traveling soon that could, make you meet or touch new people that you've never been able to before. Maybe you're reaching outside of that comfort zone by traveling, things like that. But I really do feel like there's going to be a lot of aha moments that you are going to find within the near future. With the Sun card, it's going to emit a lot of light on some of the subconscious things or some of the unknown things, some of the things that are underneath the surface. And you'll start getting some mental clarity that way as well. And you'll start to learn what you need to add on to this foundation that will be good for you to make a sturdy building or house or whatever it is you're trying to build with this career or opportunity for yourself. So with that being said, let's see if we can get some last closing advice for Taurus here. What does Taurus need to know with the advice? All right. So for the advice, we have the Judgment card, the King of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. So there's something that obviously you have been pulled away from, or something that has pulled away from you. And I feel like there's definitely some things that you deeply resonate with. And I think that you've got to really make sure that you are resonating with the right things. And you know what it is. You know what it is. Like you click with it too easily to not know what it is. And like, what are you doing the most of, or where are you spending your most time? Things like that. Like, what is that thing that you resonate with the most? And make sure you're pursuing that. Make sure that's who you are. Make sure that's what you're leading by. That's you. That is just your ship that you command, and you are sailing forward on that ship. The things that you have either been pulled away from, or that you're slowly being pulled away from, or the things that are not being options anymore, you don't need to go back to that, because you've left it for a reason. You left something for what you resonate more with. And that's what you got to focus on. That's your identity of who you are and where people are going to be able to find you. So the people that you're supposed to connect with, they have to know who you are, the real version of yourself, to be able to say, hey, that's that person that I have a contract with, or that's that person that I need to be able to teach them something, or they have to teach me something, things like that. And I feel like the perspective has switched. The perspective is solely on that. I feel like there has been a shift of energy of you walking this path, and then there's this path that kind of like creeps up on your path, and you like start walking with that, and now you're drifting off into the real path that you're supposed to be on. It's almost like the path that you're supposed to be on has came back into your life and has saved you, because it almost seems like you had this option before, but you didn't take it. So the path that you're going on right now is going to be much, much more successful for you. So that's amazing to see. But that's what I got for you, Taurus. If you have any questions or concerns about this reading, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you. But I love you all so much. Thank you for taking the time and listening for this message. But I'll catch you on the next reading. Take care.